Okay. I can't see it. Okay, great. Hey guys, welcome to Red Carpet Rendezvous. I'm your host, Lauren Conlon, and today we have a special guest host that I am so excited about. It's Brad Blanks of WCBS Radio. Brad is on the Scott Shannon Show, where he's known for his wild interviews with celebrities and athletes and just all kinds of people. And Brad, not to build you up, but you are literally one of the funniest people I've ever met. He's been interviewing and hitting the red carpet since he moved from Australia to NYC in 2001. And he was on WPLJ for 10 years. So actually, when I first saw you, Brad, I think I said this out loud to you. Like, is he hot? Is he cute? Or is he just tall?
Yeah, tall. Just tall, please. Just tall. A big oafish man who just stands there with a microphone in my hand. Yeah, and it was a lovely meeting you, Lauren. You're a top lady. And no, but think about these red carpets. We develop these relationships with people we stand next to, but we really don't become friends with everyone, and you've definitely cut through. So I'm now good friends with you.
That's so nice.
Yeah, but it's true though. It's a funny working relationship
in
a fleeting business.
You're so right. And you know what's so nice is I feel like we build each other up, sort of, because it can get very competitive there, It can, where it's like, come on, hurry up. You're asking them too many questions. It's my turn.
Right. And you're in a business where really the celebrity doesn't have to talk to you, and you and I both have different goals in what we're trying to achieve when we chat to them. But there's they don't have to talk to us. They're not contracted. Contracted for a few photos and maybe to talk to Entertainment Tonight and someone else, and then they're off. And and somehow we've got to seduce them to stay in front of our faces for 59 seconds and hope it's the best. Hope it starts slowly and then crescendos into something magic by the end of it. So,
yes, and you are so good at that. I actually make a point to show my husband all your interviews on Instagram, and we laugh our butts off.
Good. That's good. That's
he
good.
does.
That's
I'm
good.
like, you have to watch this. Actually, so we'll get to this, but something that I loved was when you interviewed Helen Mirren, and you were like, what advice do you have for a young man like me?
Yeah. Where did that young man go? And people, that line just came from I always say it. I've said it a lot for a young man, and I realize I'm now 45 years of age, and I've just said young man, which could sound condescending to a 73-year-old woman as well. So there was a lot going on in that, which captured a moment when I said it, and it just came from my subconscious. But I'm chasing the bit. I'm chasing the reaction from her, and I hope it's funny. And it proved to be unbelievable because she just destroyed me. and I think her final line was, if you haven't worked it out by now, darling, you're never going to work it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But what did she say? She said to you, you were like, what advice do you have for a young man like me? And she said, what did she say?
Young man. Yeah, I wouldn't say you're that young.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And to get that from Dame Helen Mirren is a spectacular reaction.
She goes, darling, you're not that young.
And it was a terrible red carpet. They were getting pulled a lot. I mean, there's a whole, it's a wonderful thing that you've dedicated your name of your podcast, Red Carpet Rendezvous. The fact that we work in such a terrible business where they're getting pulled and shuffled past you, and she was gone. They were getting pulled past me. I'm just lucky that they were both over 70 years of age. I think Sir Ian McKellen's 80, 81, 82. So he was hobbling along, and I'm just glad they stayed for me to enough get the bit. I wasn't looking for a 2-minute in-depth interview. I got exactly what I wanted, and it worked beautifully in that moment where they were. If you look at the video on YouTube, they were getting pulled. They weren't even stopping.
I saw that.
Yeah.
No, I saw that, and you were so lucky.
Yeah.
So, actually, just to go into some detail about that night, like you said, so I remember that night because there was about 3 carpets that night, and a bunch of us were on like a text thread, and we were like, Arthur, what are you doing tonight? And Arthur and I did Crown Vic, which was
Thomas Jane.
Yes, Thomas Jane. However, Thomas Jane only talked to Extra that night.
There you go.
But we got
Which is crazy, because why is Thomas Jane not talking to people?
And I know.
That's the other thing in this.
He's not even verified on Instagram, by the way, which is so weird. Well, but yeah.
I'll get back to your point, but the whole thing is we are in this mini stock market of celebrities analysing why would he talk to only Extra when he could talk to everyone and hit everyone in under a minute each and create magic for himself to get more of him out there.
And get your movie watched by people. That's the whole point. Yeah. So that night, it was amazing because we all got Alec Baldwin, Bridget Moynihan. We got a lot of good people. And I remember we were like, so how was, what was it, The Good Liar?
Yeah.
When we were like, how was The Good Liar? And you were like, it was awful.
Yeah.
Like they were shuffling them. It was so fast. Like if you invite me out, at least buy me a drink. Like that was so funny.
Yeah.
So
all right, this is a good, because I'm chasing a bit and I hope the bit's funny. At that time when I did it, I didn't know if it was funny, and it was very frustrating because I was sitting there going, all right, if Helen Mirren, if I get a good 1-2 for a minute and a half, I'll be able to get something funny or something entertaining. And at the time when I got it, I knew it was good from a subconscious, but I didn't go back and look at it and listen to it. So when I was texting you, I was pretty down. Damn it. I'd waited so long and I was trying to have a good rapport with it, and there was no rapport. And then when I looked back at the video, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is actually 100 times better than even if I got like a 3-minute sit-down interview with Helen Mirren.
And they played that on CBS, right?
Yeah, played that next morning, and it was gold. So... I mean, that sort of sums up what I'm doing. I'm out there trying to get something that'll create I call it an organic combustible moment. And my stuff's designed where it would go on a radio show, and as a collaborative experience, the host of the show, Scott, and Patty Steele, and the producer, everyone can chime in and sort of analyze my work. I'm pretty fine for my work to be analyzed as shit, and I'm fine to be fantastic,
funny, though.
as long as it's funny, and that's all that matters.
And you're a good sport about it.
I'm fine with that because
you are a great sport.
I'm in a team sort of business, and I've designed my interviews over 19 years of getting to a stage where they can be shared on air. Afterwards, if there's an awkward moment where I'm trying to interview someone like in the old days, Angelina Jolie, and I screw that up because I'm nervous or I'm sweating, even better.
You're always sweating.
I'm always sweating.
Fine, yeah.
That's right. I get the upper brow sweating, but I want to be sweating. I want to be nervous, and and which is good because it is authentic and it is natural, but it's that combustible thing where there's a piece of audio that's, let's say, a minute to a minute and a half, and I take it into a show, and then we can all chat about it with one of the, sometimes the biggest stars in the world, or even sometimes the D-grade star.
Which are so fun.
Which is fun too.
Yes. And then, so just going back to the sweaty comment, since we do stand next to each other quite a bit, something that made me laugh was the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel carpet when you were talking to Alex Borstein, who, for those of you who don't know, she plays Susie, Mrs. Maisel's manager.
2-time Emmy winner.
Yes, they just won Best Ensemble.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's SAG Awards. Yeah.
But she wins it. She wins it now. Yeah.
She does. So she actually was standing there, and I remember you said, so you're like, if you were going to manage me, like, how am I doing? Yeah. And she was like, what did you? She was like, how are you doing for what? And then
my career. How would you rate my career right now? And she looked at the camera and she just said, "You're nailing it."
But wait, but you also said a big sweaty guy that's interviewing you. That's when she goes, "Oh, you're nailing it."
Yeah, that's right. So, you actually got the joke better than I did, right? Yes, you did. Good job.
Because I was standing there and I just stopped what I was doing, and I just was dying.
So that's
laughing.
even better when I don't even get the joke, when the joke's at my expense, and you actually went to the next level and worked out the joke was.
Yeah, no, I worked it out. I never forgot it because it was so funny.
How am I going? Is it a schleppy? I think the word. I don't know if that's a word. Yes. Big schleppy, sweaty guy, and she went, "You're nailing it." That's
You're nailing it. Yeah. So she basically is her character, which is really funny in real life.
Well, she's a great. I used to interview her all the time in the O's. When I say all the time, probably 4 or 5 years in a row, sometimes twice in the 1 year, because they would roll her out for the Family Guy for Fox. I used to be a Fox television in the days had a bit of money, and they figured out we get radio stations, and they'd fly 40 radio station guys and girls like me, the sidekicks on shows out to Los Angeles for American Idol, base it around that, and then they'd bring all their other show talent into a room on the day of American Idol, and we'd all line up and we'd interview all the talent. Now, the talent weren't A-listers. They were all C, or B, and one of them was Alex Borstein. Don't get me wrong, she's an A-lister now and she's fantastic. And she was the mum in Family Guy, and her and I would have such a laugh and a great thing. And then I'd have to figure out how to get that on the radio. Not every time you can get
Right.
on your own show. But I'd interview her all the time, so I developed this great rapport with her. And I said to her when I saw her the other night, she goes, yeah, I remember you. How you doing? I went, good. I said, I feel like I'm invested in you now because we did so much work together. And I mean, she's a voiceover animated superstar, in that regards. But now she's on screen and she's winning Emmys. So, there are some payoffs when you have a good time with someone that you're interviewing and they do well.
I cannot wait for that. I've only been doing this for I guess almost a year in April, so I just can't wait to get to that level where you have a rapport with somebody
you're on
that
your
you
way.
see all the time, and I don't know.
Well, it's nice, and you kind of then root for them in their projects.
Yeah,
even though we have nothing to really do with them, but we have this little moment that we're creating this stuff for them, and they're a part of our. These names are kind of big parts of our.
And
little,
I see you. I see you on the carpet. You you're like, hey, what's up? You wave to the celebrities, like, oh, what's up? And you're like, what? I'm like, how do you know all of them? So
I just throw things. A lot of them, because we do get them where they are. Some of them are good, and some of them remember me, and they're great. Even when they can't talk because the publicist is pulling them away, they're still not nice, and they're getting pulled away. But then there's moments where, like Selma Hayek at the National Border Review was getting pulled down, and I said, all right, well, I've got to see if I can create something out of this. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. And I yelled out to her, and I said, and this is very lame and very corny, I said, is there a chance that you will represent Mexico in the Olympics this year, Selma? She stopped, looked at me, and went, "What the fuck?"
Wait, did she really?
Her brain was so. And I thought, all right, well, it wasn't that funny, but I got a reaction of her face. And what the?
Wait, did Dougie get that?
Yeah, he got it. Film, yes.
I want to see
there's another one I've got to put out. Then, And I know. Look, I know, and that only comes from the fact that I interviewed her 10 years ago during the World Cup in 2010. It was the grown-ups red carpet. Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, David Spade. They all turned up, and she turned up, and she'd just come from her hotel room watching Mexico in the World Cup on TV, and she was about 4 Coronas deep, and her and I had this great interview about Mexican soccer. So I know she loves her Mexican sport. So,
oh my gosh, I love that. I'm so mad I missed that. But wait, there was something funny. You also this was funny and awkward that you yelled to Antonio Banderas' wife. Yes. Oh my gosh, and we thought she took that. What did you say?
Yeah,
exactly?
I said, I think it was around Puss in Boots. I said, I loved Antonio in Puss in Boots. Yeah. And she stopped and turned around and went.
She was not having
She was not happy.
Oh, my gosh.
And then Antonio came, and then it was for the movie Pain and Glory. He did a great job, by the way. If you want to see a good Spanish movie, very good. Nominated for an Oscar for Best International Film. And I get him, and we talk. We're doing, and he's talking about the role. And I mean, I'm Australian. People struggle to understand me, and I understand that because I get excited and I talk quickly. I cannot understand a word he's saying.
It was tough.
It was, and he was in the monologue, and all I'm thinking as I'm interviewing him is Puss in the Boots. I got to get a bit of Puss in Boots into this interview. So I said, Antonio, can you please compare your role in this to your role in Puss in Boots?
Oh, my gosh.
And he pissed himself laughing, which was good. So I'd love to see later on in the night, or maybe him and his wife are getting the Uber or the limousine back to their hotel room, and she goes, some weird, big, goofy-looking Australian guy, he asked me about you playing Puss in Boots.
Oh, my God.
And he'll go, that guy asked me about Puss in Boots as well.
But it was almost like she didn't hear you say
no, I know.
Puss
I think she just heard Puss.
Yeah, I think so
I hope she didn't hear Puss in.
Well, right, because she looked at you and she was like, what? No. And then she walked away and I was like, oh my God, that was so awkward. Yeah. I can't even deal with that.
Yes,
but no,
good.
I will say Antonio, he was phenomenal to interview.
He was good.
Right? But it is
Very
hard to understand him. Yeah. That's so funny. Just speaking of that night, not the National Board Review, the Critic Circle.
The Critic Circle, the night before.
So that was my first time interviewing somebody that had a translator, which was Bong from Parasite.
Bong, Bong.
Yes.
Bong who?
Bong who, yeah. So I was like, this is very uncomfortable because I feel like I'm supposed to be paying attention when I have no idea what he's saying.
Yes. I've never mastered translating interviews. And
it's difficult.
It is, to me, it is just comedy all round. I have a big problem because I'm trying to talk slowly for you, Lauren. Can you imagine me talking to a Korean? I talk very slow to the extent that my 10-year-old son saw the video of me interviewing the cast of Parasite, and my son's like, Dad, this is really uncool what you're doing to these Koreans.
Because it's they don't understand you anymore when you're talking slower.
No, that's right, Dad, this is uncool. This is not, my son's very woke, and I'm like,
how old is he?
10. I'm
10,
like,
okay.
I said, I talk like this when I talk to Americans
Yeah.
or anyone trying to understand me, I talk very slow. He goes, it does. Was not a good
Is he
look.
so impressed?
Yeah,
Who is
no,
he
he's
most
not
impressed with?
No,
he's not.
No, it's more cynicism, which is good. I like that. I think it's that New Yorker kid
But
thing.
who has he been like super impressed with that you came home and said, "Hey, I talked to this person tonight"?
Yeah. No, it's got to be. It'll be someone from an animated. Oh, look, he loved. I interviewed Will Arnett, who's Lego Batman. Things along those lines. Yeah, they get all that. And,
Yes.
but it'd be now my kids stepped into the world of video game guys or YouTubers, and I haven't yet tackled the YouTubers.
That sounds terrible,
Yeah,
actually.
I reckon you'd be great at them.
You should never tackle
I can't wait. I want Ninja. If Ninja ever listens to the Red Carpet Rendezvous,
Oh my God.
Well,
I want to ask you, who has been the most memorable person that you've ever spoken to on the red carpet?
Yeah, look, Gervais is my like unicorn. He's the one that I found early, and no one would talk to him on red carpets. And that was actually I interviewed him here for a small movie that he was in. This is in 2005, and then the following year I interviewed him when his movie came out, the one he did. With Ghost Town, that was Toronto Film Festival.
Oh, yeah.
That was Greg Kinnear. And then I think it gets to, and then I was doing, I'd always go into HBO and do it when he had like extras Christmas special. We were going well. We were getting a good relationship. But a memorable moment from him was in 2008 SAG Awards, January. Now, back then I'd go to the SAG Awards every year. It was a part of, TNT would fly me out and they'd fly a group of radio people out. So it was good. It was a cross-promotion.
That's so
It was
cool.
so cool.
Yeah.
But they would put us all at the very end of the red carpet behind a hedge. And so we'd be leaning out over a hedge. And when Ricky Gervais...
Feeling real good about yourselves
And
at that
Ricky
point.
Gervais was coming, and he was nominated for extras. I'm pretty sure it was extras.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking the red carpet, and no one talked to him. No one talked to Ricky Gervais. This is still in January 2008.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd popped in America, fully popped, but he hadn't yet. And he's walking the red carpet, and he gets to me... And he sees me behind a hedge, and he goes into this whole rant.
And this is like a bush, right?
This is
Like
a bush, and he
okay.
goes, "Look at Brad Blanks, like a horse behind his hedge. Yeah, just trying to do interviews." And then I'm interviewing
God.
Ricky, and this other reporter chimes in, and he's like, "Yeah, and look at this woman here taking over Brad Blank's interview. She's 10 times better than him. He has, and my microphone. I didn't care about my microphone. I don't even care how I'm dressed on red carpets most of the time. And my microphone was all ratty. And he goes, "Look at this little ratty microphone." So that was one of the most.
He shit on your microphone?
Yeah, shit on my microphone, and that's comedy gold. That was fantastic. So he's like my unicorn. Yeah, he's the legend. Memorable. I mean, it's been a good look. Brad Pitt was the Jesse James red carpet. These are some of the failures, I guess. And I was having a good interview with him. I interviewed Angelina beforehand, and she was so loving.
This is when they were together.
Together, yeah.
Okay.
So proud of Brad, and it was lovely. I just love him, and this. Yeah. And then I know, and then Brad Pitt comes along, and I interviewed, and I said, this guy is a good player and a lad, and he didn't know what the definition of lad. Lad's like an English term.
Seriously? Everybody knows that.
No, you're.
Is Brad Pitt dumb? Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh no.
And he didn't know. And I love Brad Pitt, and he didn't know and he kind of abused me, and I went, "Oh, I'm sorry, mate." And I was very sure. He just didn't know. Oh, you're playing a bit of a lad. Like a lad's like a rascal.
No, Brad. Everybody knows what a lad is.
I thought it was just me.
No, it's not.
So that was a sad moment.
Brad.
But he's still a legend, though.
He is.
Yeah.
Wait, that's so funny though. He didn't know what a lad was.
No, that's right. But look, memorable. A big one was Lindsay Lohan getting her.
Yes. What year was this?
This is got to be 2007, May 07.
So she's just starting to fall apart at this
No,
point.
it hasn't yet.
Hasn't yet,
This is peak Lindsay.
Lindsay.
This is peak right at the top. And this is 2 weeks before she fell over.
Okay.
This is when she's in the Jane Fonda movie,
Yes,
Georgia Rule.
Georgia Rule. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the red carpet for Georgia Rule. I'm at the very...
NYC or LA?
NYC,
Okay.
yep. Ziegfeld Theatre. Rest in peace, poor old Ziegfeld. Love
Yep.
that place.
Yep.
I'm at the end of the red carpet. She comes down. She talks to maybe someone, didn't get access, maybe Entertainment Tonight for a couple of words, and then she was sort of flighty, and she ran down the back side of it. The red carpet gets jammed.
Yeah.
She ran down with her publicist the other side, and as she comes around, I yelled to her publicist, "Hey, Leslie!" It was Leslie Sloan, great global publicist, one of the legends. And she and Lindsay, I go, "Quick, Lindsay, Brad Blank's here. Can I have a chat? And we started talking, and the challenge from my bosses at the time, it was Scott and Todd, a legendary morning show on WPLJ. They said they'd give $500 to her charity if she signed my man boob.
Nope.
And
nope.
Yeah, so as we're chatting, this is a good movie, and I said, look, my bosses would give $500 to a charity.
Wasn't she like 20 at the time or something?
If you signed my man boob, so I pulled out my man boob. And she autographed it, which was which was great.
Wait, I need to see this. How have I not? Is this on your YouTube channel?
It's on
What's your YouTube channel?
Brad Blanks.
Okay, Brad Blanks. And I also saw you have like over 3,000 subscribers.
Well, that's not that much.
Wait, yes, it is. That's a lot. I think that's a lot. You're pretty incredible. I cannot wait to see this. But I actually can't believe she signed it. And her publicist was like, "This is fine."
Well, the best thing about it is she did no press. And she was at the top. She was like probably the biggest star at that moment in the world. Yeah, in terms of if we're going to do the stock market of stars at that moment. It was all Lindsay and the whole red carpet. She didn't talk to anyone. So I get her to stop for me at the end, and I've got my guy doing the camera work I think he's an accountant. And I said, mate, can you just come down and hold the camera? I had the tiny little old DV tape camera.
Yeah.
And he's running that. And as doing the interview, the whole red carpet shifted, and there were 30 cameras all around us. And I'm just praying that my guy, who's not a trained cameraman, is just holding the camera tight.
And did they all see her sign?
Yeah, and everyone saw it, and everyone got it. And she got me signing and got it. And the best thing is Access Hollywood picked that up and then ran it.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Every show ran it. Entertainment Tonight.
You were just on national TV
the following night.
Your
Entertainment,
every
show, extra Entertainment Tonight and Access all ran it. It was a big moment. Yeah, who would have thought these man boobs had come in handy?
Well, they're shrinking with your intermittent fasting. So, by the way, for those of you that are listening and can't see, Brad looks great. So.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Trying to shed the powers, but I was a big. Those O's were good to me. I had my girlfriend who's now my wife, and New York City was. They were like my early '80s. The O's. It was like. Yeah, every night. Well, like I was doing these interviews on red carpets, and then you'd go to the after party, and I could make a 3-course meal out of finger food. I'd stand near the entrance when they'd come out with,
You slipped them like a 20 to come to you first.
No, I had no money. I was just eating.
Oh, true.
I was just eating, and then I was drinking. I'd smash about 10 beers, and then I'd wake up the next morning and get the audio on the radio and tell the story how I got the interview, and then what I did at the after party. It was a really fun time.
It is fun. Yeah. I feel like this is these things people want to know about. So that's why I think it's so much fun. And even like people like me, I want to know about this.
Yes, you want to be in there. You want to see.
I love this because, like I said, I haven't been doing this for as long as most people. So I like to hear, and I still go to the parties. I like them. I think it's fun.
The parties are good. Well, I laughed at the SAG Awards the other night, and I laughed with like, geez, that would have been the good old days for me to have been at that party and actually be watching, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston sort of get, have that moment at the party talking to each other.
I was living for that.
Yeah, people, and
all
you're
of
like,
the pictures.
And if you can put a twist on that and talk about it the next day, it's very entertaining.
You heard what he said when he's like this character when he won such a stretch for me. He got high all the time. He didn't get along with his wife, and they panned to Jennifer Aniston. I'm like, this is gold.
It's gold.
Like
gold.
This is gold.
So it's good for both of them, and it was good. Yeah, so that's a good. Like my instance, which is not as probably gentle as Brad and Jennifer reuniting, is I was like in a Sundance party, and I saw Rick Solomon and Paris Hilton reunite after their famous porn tape.
Yes,
and they hadn't been talking.
He released a sex tape, without her permission.
Right, and then they were in the same party, and I looked up, and I'm like, "There's Rick Solomon, there's Paris Hilton." I'm like, "What's going on?"
And did they talk?
They didn't talk.
They didn't.
But
talk?
I'm like, but it would have been a pretty. They were within 20 yards of each other.
That would have been amazing.
I'm glad I got that in because I've never really thought
Is he even alive still?
Yeah, he's
Rick
still alive.
Solomon?
I think he's probably a billionaire YouTuber by now.
You're so right. Yeah. Or podcaster, whatever. $30,000 a month in ads, whatever. That's so funny. So one of my all-time favorite videos, and again, I show this to everybody because it's the best one, is Brad's video with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler at the Just Go With It premiere. And this is L.A., right?
No, New York. It's New York.
Oh, that was New York?
It was at the Ziegfeld Theater as well. Yeah.
Wait, that was? I thought that was L.A.
No, it was New York. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So for those of you, I guess, again, which is probably most of you not familiar with the red carpet, as we've described to you, it's crazy. It's hectic. A lot of the times people are jumping all over each other, and you have to sort of crouch and you have to like hide. And especially I'm imagining a Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler carpet where it's like they're not going to stop at every single outlet, right?
That's right.
Everybody has to get their questions
It turns into a roving, moving. They're
or
moving. The star power just moves like this organic mass where they have hangers on all around them, and it's just a clump of bodies moving, and you got to figure out how to get your microphone in the right spot.
But everybody seemed to have, and I'm going to play a clip from this just because it's so funny, and you guys should all watch it on YouTube on Brad Blanks' YouTube channel after, just because it's literally gold. But everybody has the microphone towards Jen and Adam, and Brad kind of has his head popping up and down a little bit.
I'm on my knees because I figure I got the cameraman behind me, my cameraman, and then I got other people's cameraman. And I'm like, if I stand up, I'm going to screw the bit up. And I'm like, well, I don't need video. I need radio audio. So I can still conduct this from my knees. And I'd been going
from your knees.
Yeah, I'd been going all right, doing a few. I once interviewed Oliver Stone from my knees, and the whole time I'm interviewing him, I'm like looking at his crutch, going, Jesus, I don't know where to put the microphone. Anyway, in these guys, I'm on my knees, I'm interviewing, and Jennifer kind of felt sorry for me as she looked down, and I had my microphone, and she actually said, which was like, it was very motherly actually. She said,
it was sweet.
She was sweet. She goes, stand up, come on.
Well, she goes, what are you doing? Why are you crouching? Stand up.
And I'm like, well, I've got such a big head, and I get in the way, and I'm like this. I got, and she said, stand up. So I stood up, and I was kind of at the exact moment she said it. It was my Count Dracula. Remember how Dracula would rise and be so huge, and that's how I felt. I'd be like, I felt as I went up slowly. I was very measured in my rise, and I was huge. Like I'm 6'5" anyway, but I reckon I became 6'7" because I stood very straight, and they were so tiny in front of me, Jennifer and Adam, and. I had the microphone, and then they just couldn't believe it.
Well, Adam did his typical, he goes, goo, as soon as you stood up. He was like, that's awful. That's what he
brilliant.
said.
I love that.
He looked at your height, and he goes, that's awful.
Yeah. He did have a great line because it was Just Go With It, which was a Hawaii-themed movie and a Hawaii-themed red carpet.
Yes.
And above me was the a tiki light, like made out of tiki.
Please watch this, guys.
And he pointed at the tiki, and he goes, put on your hat and get out of here. And it was a great Sandler line, but it was more about Jennifer Aniston. His last line was, "You never scare Aniston like that." And then I left, but it was great.
That was the best moment, and that it really was so sweet that he was kind of very endearing towards her too.
And in my game, I'm trying to get those. Yeah, as I said, combustible. And I didn't know. I knew standing up I'd get something, but I didn't know it'd be that great a moment.
And those are the moments that we want. So I think that both of us are sort of lucky in the sense that we can create these moments, and we don't have anybody that's kind of like, oh, don't do that. You have to be the cookie cutter, like, with news. Like they have to, very cookie cutter questions. What are you so excited for tonight? What are you da-da-da-da?
You're just rolling. Yeah. And I think it's the best way in I don't know how you can take anything on a red carpet seriously, and even if you are taking, like if it's an entertainment reporter taking it seriously, it's very frustrating to watch because is the content going to be something that's original or so? We've got to attempt to try to blow things up to get something different. And to get, look, I treat it like my own mini talk show to get this minute and a half of something fun, something spectacular.
I love that.
And it's my little moment there of having a good time.
That's really good advice, actually. Treat it like a 1 minute talk show.
1 minute talk show. Just have some fun and try and get a rise and try to get them pumped. I want upbeat stuff, and it's tricky because you've got to create a beginning, a middle, and an end in under a minute. You got to figure out how to do that, and that's and you're talking to, and this is what no one thinks about. You're talking to people that really don't want to talk to you.
Oh my God, that's exactly right. Nobody actually wants to be there.
No one wants
they
to
have to be there. It's part of their job to promote their movies, so they get paid.
They don't want to talk to me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's
I'm very
so
honest
true.
in that. There's no really. Come on, you're talking to a big schleppy, sweaty guy. Why do you want to talk to me that gets his head in front of everything? If anything, I'm hurting their brand. But I hope after the first 20 seconds. I'm trying to get you in. I'm trying to, be a good guy. I'm not trying to burn anyone. And
we're not trying to be gossipy. No. We are not. You and I.
No, that's right.
A lot of people are not. But and I know you feel the same way. We leave certain carpets super excited and happy with ourselves, and then we leave really disappointed.
That's right. It is. Yeah.
Like I just Bridget Moynihan was one for me where I I don't know what I was thinking. And I actually still to this day don't think it was that bad.
Right.
But in Crown Vic, she played a drug addict.
Right.
And like, it was one scene she was in, right? It's like not a huge deal.
Yeah.
She played a drug addict. And I was like, was it so much fun just playing something that you're not? And she was so offended that I asked her if it was fun. She was like, I mean, it was very challenging. Like, it was so challenging.
Yeah.
It was not fun. I wouldn't say that. I was like, oh my God, I'm really sorry. I can't use this. Okay.
No.
And then like, you feel like a jerk off and you're like, oh my gosh, sorry. So we've all had those moments where we're very embarrassed and whatever. But so anyway, I don't know if I'm going to use this end part, but Brad, you know me, and you know that I have a very filthy sense of humor. Yes, from standing with me.
No, you're very good. I mean, it's wonderful. It's like, it's great. Girl power.
We have fun. So, as a female, I like to get ready for the red carpet.
Yes.
I'll give myself a blowout.
Yep.
I'll put on makeup. I don't know about you. Now you're intermittent fasting.
Right. Yep.
Do you have any traditions
no waxing, no, I don't wax.
Well, so this is what I was going to ask you. It was going to be a would you rather. Okay.
Right. Yeah, let's go.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, ready for it.
Okay. And I personally think that just you knowing this, people might not know this about you, what I'm about to ask, but you in your head knowing it, you just might have more confidence on the carpet. Right. But anyway, would you rather get your balls waxed once a month for a year, or would you rather get your butthole bleached once a month for a year?
Balls waxed.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah, let's do it.
Way more painful.
Yeah, no, let's go with the balls.
That's way more painful.
No.
You're thinking of your wife at this point.
I don't know what a bleaching would do to my ass.
I don't know. Porn stars do it. I heard whatever. But
I have enough trouble eating Indian food. I don't know if I need anything sprayed in there.
I'm just thinking of you on the red carpet being like, wow, I feel great today. Nobody knows, but I got my balls waxed.
I think the balls waxed is what I need to do in life. That's fine.
Oh my gosh. I love that you answered that so quickly. It's
a challenge. It's an adrenaline rush. I'm actually sweating up from that only because I'm feeling what the pain would be like with my knackers getting waxed.
I'm sorry, your knackers?
It's an Australian term for balls.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's with a K too, knackers. K-N-A-C-K-E-R.
I figured that out.
Good.
Yeah,
good
I figured
speller.
that out.
Very good speller.
Yeah, you know. I try.
I'm looking forward to when you interview Brad Pitt in this scenario and you ask him at the end of it.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed that he didn't know what that meant.
He'd be an ass bleacher though. Yeah. Fine. Those Hollywood types.
I take Brad Pitt for an ass bleacher. I actually take Ricky Gervais for a ball waxer.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, he's in it for the quick pain and then the fun afterwards.
I totally agree.
He'd roll his nuts out next to his cat and compare them. It'd be great Instagram for Ricky.
That would be so great. Oh my gosh, something great to talk about in front of the Academy and and the Golden Globes. But this was great, Brad. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, let's do it again.
I cannot wait to have you on again.
Yes.
So everybody follow Brad Blanks on Instagram at Brad Blanks and listen to him on WCBS Radio. That's every day.
Yeah, 101.1.
101.1 FM, The Scott Shannon Show. So, all right, guys, thanks so much. And I'll see you next week. Thanks again, Brad.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.